Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And good morning, everybody. What's going on? We bring it to you live, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The Talk of Las Vegas. I'm Mark Hoke, host of the Mark Hoke Show. Very happy to have all of you joining us on a post-SummerSlam Sunday. That's right. Had a little bit of action going down in Cleveland last night, and we're going to break it all down for you. And it's a little bit of a celebration today as we cross our 3rd anniversary of the Mark Hoke Show. So we're very happy for all of your support. Thank you so much out there. We greatly appreciate it, and we're going to look forward to bringing you a lot more of the best in pro wrestling on KDAWN. Of course, I have to bring in two guys that have been great helps to me, especially over the last year. Made a couple new friends along the way, and that's part of the fun of pro wrestling. So I think we're just going to pop these guys in here right now. Let's welcome in the president of wrestling, Phil Stamper, and from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling down in Austin, Texas, Stu Myrick. Gentlemen, welcome.
What's up?
Good morning.
We're all peppy after that SummerSlam.
At least it wasn't an AEW pay-per-view, so we weren't up till 1 a.m., so that's okay.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. Well, some of us weren't up till 1 a.m. Actually, I think I passed out at midnight and gave in. I tapped out. I was working all day yesterday. But a wild night in Cleveland, and we're going to break that all down. Of course, a lot of other news, some things happening in AEW, including a McMahon. Yikes. A McMahon. This is going to be an interesting discussion. We got walls being smashed in, people getting suspended, all sorts of crazy stuff. So we're going to talk all about it today with you on the Mark Hoke Show. And if you're in the chat box, by the way, we are streaming on Facebook, X, and YouTube. So first thing to do is subscribe. That would be a smart move, because then you don't miss anything that we put up, like all these great videos these guys get to be in, and you know, they love it every second of it. And when I clip them up and throw them up there for you. So get on there, subscribe right now. Just click that button. We'd really appreciate it. And, of course, follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show and Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. Guys, what a night that was last night, huh? That was something.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot to take in. A lot to take in. But I think Michael Cole said it best at one point. This one's going to be remembered as the night that the Judgment Day went kablooey. I mean, I don't know if there's really any other way to put it. Stu,
is it dead, or is it now going to be, I don't know, are we going to get Judgment Day black and red? Like,
I hope not. Let's not do the black and red. Look, Bullet Club is split into like 43 different factions already, and and they're not even the most popular in New Japan. Let's not split let's just look, Judgment Day as we know it is gone. Rest in peace. They had a good run. Whatever comes out of this, it's not the Judgment Day that we all have grown to love or whatever.
Right.
So I will be interested to see what happens tomorrow night on Raw. I think they're going to be in Tulsa, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll be interested to see what, whatever is left of the Judgment Day, looks like. Is it going to be Finn, JD, Dom, Carlito, and Liv now? And where does Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley go? And wow.
Yeah, it's something. Phil, your thoughts, because I don't think that putting a new Judgment Day together, I don't know, that it just doesn't seem the same without Damian Priest and Rhea in it. It's not as powerful a group, I think. But
I mean, I've already been feeling with JD McDonough and Carlito, like, they didn't fit. So now they're like the last people standing. Will they be the new Judgment Day by themselves as a comedy duo? And Finn's doing his thing and Damien's doing his thing and Rhea's doing her thing? Or will Rhea and Damien now form a new faction and take on Dom and Liv?
I think that match is going to happen. That's gotta happen. You have.
I will say what I don't think you're going to see a new faction from Damien and Rhea just because they don't need it.
That is true.
Yeah,
they're good. They're good by themselves. They're popular by themselves. They're over by themselves. Why put them in another faction? Now I do think we will see some mixed tag with Damien and Rhea against Dom and Liv, or what Liv and choose your remaining Judgment Day member
and Finn,
and Finn's Finn's all in there as well. But I don't see them making their own faction. I think they're gonna keep rising as solo acts there on Raw.
I want to compliment all of them though, in that when this whole thing started out, Edge was the one that was running this thing. And if you remember right, they whacked him out of there very early on in the Judgment Day. And I sat there and said, you just did what?
Yeah.
Where is this group going to go now that Edge is out of there? But they did a fantastic job. I mean, that was one of my favorite factions in WWE recently. And credit to every one of them for, putting it together and being dominant and just, doing what they're supposed to be doing as a faction. It was pretty impressive.
It was. And look, I love Adam Copeland. I got to meet him when AEW was here in Austin a few months ago, and just a wonderful guy. I'll be honest, though, Edge, starting Judgment Day, it just, I don't know, there was something missing. And I would say Judgment Day got, infinitely better once they booted Edge out. Of course, soon thereafter, Edge, leaves WWE, heads to AEW, all that good stuff. But I think Judgment Day got a lot better, and they just kept growing. And they kind of filled, shall we say, a void when Cody, defeated Roman and the bloodline kind of, transformed, I guess. They filled that void for a little bit.
Yeah, they did a great job. Phil, you're shaking your head on that.
I went back and forth. Last night I was thinking about where is the bloodline? Where is Judgment Day for Damien? Like, they've really let Damien do his own thing. And I was like, well, you couldn't have both of the top titles be defended by a guy who has a group who has his back all the time. So it was sort of like, all right, I see how they're distinguishing this. And I was seeing the line about what they were going to do with Finn eventually. And I didn't know they were going to pull that trigger last night, but I'm kind of glad they did, because I do think Finn needed it more than any of them. I think he needed something to change up what he was doing. I will say, though, regardless of that, I think Damian Priest had his best match since he's been the heavyweight champion.
Agreed. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, because everybody, for those that are listening and may have not gotten to check out what happened at SummerSlam last night, we're talking about the implosion of the Judgment Day, and how did it happen? What happened last night? Well, let's get into it. So we start off last night with Liv Morgan defending her Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley, and good old Dirty Dom's out there taking care of his girl. But it turned out he wasn't taking care of the right girl, as he turns on Liv Morgan and ends up costing Liv the match, or costing Rhea the match, and Liv Morgan walks out arm in arm with Dirty Dom. What is it with that kid, by the way? I mean, seriously, man, he's got to write a book on how to pick up chicks, because that's impressive, going from Rhea to Liv. But Liv Morgan walks out with the championship. Rhea just is stunned, and I kind of felt like that was coming last night, but it's still kind of weird to see. Phil, what were your thoughts on the match? This match was really good. I enjoyed it, but obviously the finish is what's going to carry this through.
I half expected Dom not to come out at all and only do backstage behind the curtain. Oh, I'm walking with Rhea. And then like Rhea comes out, does her entrance. And then, oh, now I'm walking with Liv.
Oh.
I was expecting it there. I'm not shocked by how it all went. I'm not going to lie. When I look at the overall of SummerSlam, there was moments of timing that just weren't crisp.
Yeah.
And the whole Dom catching the chair from Rhea, as Rhea tried to hit Liv and he's trying to catch it, and that got awkward, and he's trying to scream, no, you wouldn't win the championship if you hit her with the chair. I'm like, this feels weird, and it's not mic'd well, and it's not presenting what, like, something's up. Like, so it told the good story, and the end of it, I just felt uncomfortable getting there.
Well, and did you notice commentary didn't even acknowledge when Dom shoved the chair, slid the chair in the ring,
yeah,
while he was arguing with the ref, and they in fact, so they had a shot. It was right after Liv gets the pinfall. They have this. They go to the shot of Dom smiling, but commentary didn't acknowledge it, and it was like almost like they didn't even acknowledge Dom had lined up with Liv until the kiss. And it just felt like there was, you saw moment. It wasn't bad commentary. It's just moments where commentary totally missed on like a couple of key moments.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. When I was watching yesterday, I did note that the guys didn't really push that chair shove in there very well. So they ended up not really pushing it until they were all walking down the aisle, and Dom had his tongue down Liv's throat. So
what threw me visually as I'm watching this, so here, so Dom sneaks in the chair, he gets up on the side of the ring, and as the referee is looking directly at Dom's face, he's pointing down at the chair. So my brain at first, I was like, is he trying to bring attention that the chair's in the ring? Is this going to be like a swerve? Is this going to be like an Eddie Guerrero? Oh, he hit them, but they're both going to bump like right before the ref turns around. Like, is that what they're building to? And that is not what happened. And I'm like, why is he pointing out that there's a chair in the ring? Yes, he's trying to get Liv's attention, but he's looking at the ref as he's doing it. And so it looked disconnected visually from Liv getting the signal of, oh, there's a chair in the ring.
Yeah. It was a little awkward. But we get to where we wanted to go. So now we get to see where Rhea Ripley goes, probably on her own. And Liv and Dom, are you kidding me? Liv, call me. Come on. Call Phil Stamper. I don't know.
There's going to be some very disgusting makeout scenes.
Oh, God. Well, good for Dominik. Daddy's boy's all grown up.
Or maybe, just maybe, Liv on, like, tomorrow night, we go to Raw, and Liv, it looks like Dom and her are going to hook up again, and Liv's like, I already got what I needed from you, and walks away.
Oh.
And now Dom's left all by himself.
Send this clip to WWE right now. Right now. I like that. That's beautiful. That would be good, Phil. Always,
I like it.
Yeah. You can tell guys have gotten our hearts broken over the years.
But it has to be a storyline, right?
That's fantastic.
I love it, but the only problem is it would put sympathy on Dom, and we don't want that.
That's true, too.
We want to hate Dom.
Yeah.
He's still got to be the most hated guy in WWE.
Is he?
Use him.
Is he the most? I'm sorry. Is he the most hated guy in WWE now? I think he is. I'm trying to think of who anybody would hate worse than him right now. I mean, he gets so much heat, and now this.
Yeah, I mean, now there might be some audio sweetening, but he still gets like the most boos of anybody. I think it's just because it's fun to boo him.
Phil was trying to laugh up there. What
I was trying to hold back a laughter. I mean, I went Nia Jax. There's no love for Nia.
Really?
I really don't feel it. I mean, Logan Paul is probably up there too for contention of biggest heel in the company right now.
Yeah.
Just from the quality person he is. I'm just saying. Seemingly. So I don't know. I'm riding with riding with those two right now because, yeah.
Dom's a
all
jerk.
three of them are battling it out. Let's just say that.
Yeah, well, they're all doing a great job doing what they're supposed to be doing. So congratulations to them. But yeah, a wild open to SummerSlam last night, and we're going to get into it more. We do have to get a break in here real quick, and when we come back, more with Phil Stamper and Stu Myrick, and of course myself, Mark Hoke. I am the host of the show. Having a great time here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Don't forget, streaming. Hop in that chat box. You can find us Facebook, YouTube, X, and get in. We've got some comments in the chat box already. People just fired up about last night, so we'll discuss it as we roll on here. We'll be right back.
101.5 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And let's get back to it. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, streaming on that Odyssey app. Download that app if you haven't. Unbelievable programming available to you. So get the app. And, of course, we are streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. So if you want to get involved and see these guys' beautiful faces and my ugly mug, feel free to do so. And, of course, you can interact with the show as well. We're breaking down what happened at SummerSlam last night. 4 of the 6 titles changed hands yesterday. It was a busy day and another interesting night with titles changing hands. TNA just turned over most of their gang, and now WWE turns 4 titles over as well. We get into the next match, guys. Bron Breakker taking on Sami Zayn. Of course, we got Phil Stamper and Stu Myrick on the show, by the way. Sorry, I probably should say that. That would help. We are doing radio. But
Jeez, Mark.
I know. Look, it was a SummerSlammy kind of night and morning, to be honest with you. Bron Breakker takes the Intercontinental Championship off of Sami Zayn. I don't think anybody was too surprised about this. The rematch gets booked, and whoop, there it is. And Braun looked really good. I mean, dominance. This kid, you can tell the Steiner family bloodline is running through that man's veins, and he looked incredible last night. Phil, your thoughts on the match with Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn?
If anything, I just thought it was short. I felt like, wow, this moved pretty quickly. You could tell it, again, there was a moment in this match where it was like, there's something up with timing. Like, there was just a moment that just didn't click well, and then they went back into it, and it started to flow. And it's like, well, the shorter matches are the matches that Braun needs right now to show his dominance and to show his force. So it was what he needed. What was, I guess, unsurprising is that commentary never talked about the fact that Sami beat Gunther to get that championship. Like they never touched it. They never brought it up because maybe some shadows of what things could come later, or even just the fact that here's Gunther about to face off for the World Heavyweight Championship later that evening. Let's not bring it up that Sami's the one who just beat him, now with Braun beating him.
Yeah, good point. Stu, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it was short, but I think that was by design, like you said, to let Bron Breakker show what he could do. Don't have him go in a 15-20 minute marathon. We know Sami can, but Braun's still relatively young in the business, so short and sweet. And like you said, I think this was just about the most expected result for the night.
Yeah, and after coming off the last match that he and Sami had, dragged out, it was a long match. I think people weren't really expecting that. This was probably a good way to go. Keep it short. Sami had his moments in there. He didn't come off looking bad, but he and Braun just looked great. I mean, they did a terrific job establishing Braun as the monster. And I'll tell you what, there's some interesting matchups that could be taking place now with Bron Breakker as the Intercontinental Champion. This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and he's going to get to really be tested in the ring. He's going to learn a lot along the way, but for now, he's got an Intercontinental title, so good for Braun. Nice job.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get hit by him.
No.
I'd like to see Phil Stamper get a spear from him. No.
Watch it.
Why are you making me feel like that?
You're in a mood, Mark. Jeez.
I'm just messing around. Come on. The president of wrestling, he shouldn't be taking spears from Bron Breakker. Or should he?
No. Nobody should be taking spears from Bron Breakker.
We're having fun. Of course, Phil, by the way, how's things going in Revolver, by the way? You guys having a good time?
We are. We took a little vacation. We took July off, but we're returning on the 24th of two events in Dayton, Ohio. Then in September 21st in Iowa, and then we're in Texas on October. I think it's the 12th.
Yeah, y'all are heading to. Is it Garland?
Grand Prairie. So we'll be at
Grand
the
Prairie,
Epic
that's
Grand
right.
Prairie.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, Stu's down in Austin, Texas. So there you go, Stu. You can go say hi to Phil.
Right.
I might, yeah.
I think-
Grand Prairie, 3-hour drive. That's not bad.
Yeah. Right, that's easy. That's compared to what I'm gonna have to do. That's gonna be easy drive.
And I love Sami Zayn to death. So hey, always happy to support Wrestling Revolver.
Well, thank you.
He worked a little bit with Wrestle Circus when Wrestle Circus was hot here in Austin. So
I miss some of those guys. I used to know Lennox really well, and I haven't talked to him in a minute.
yeah, I see. George actually he and his wife live like maybe 5 minutes from me
Oh wow.
here in northwest Austin. I'll see him every now and again. He was starting to get active again on the independent scene, and now I haven't seen him around in a bit.
Yeah, I don't. He told me once he was coming back, and then now I don't know what happened, if he got injured again or.
Well,
Yeah, he went. In fact, he trained with Dustin Rhodes at the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. I'm the lead commentator for his student showcases, and the academy is just up the road in Leander, which is a suburb of Austin. And Jordan was there for a training camp. I think it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Under his character Flying Tiger.
Okay.
And we even booked him. So I do commentary for Inspire After Death here in Austin, and we booked him for a few matches in that. And now we haven't seen him in a while. So,
well, Phil, now you know you got someplace to stay on the drive.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. I'll hook you guys up. Well, one guy that didn't need hooked up last night was LA Knight. We had talked about it on the show that this was a critical match for him. God forbid they booked him to lose this. It would have been a disaster. They did not. LA Knight walks out with the United States Championship from Logan Paul. And the one question that I have for you guys about Logan is it time to get rid of this stupid Nux gimmick? I'm tired of it. I mean, look, he hasn't wrestled that much. And look, he's a spectacular athlete.
Mm-hmm.
He really is. He's good in the ring. And I know you're trying to get heat and everything, but isn't it time for those knuckles to just disappear? Of course, it semi-backfired last night. But, I'm done with it. I'm done with that. Stu?
I mean,
I'm sorry.
is it about the knuckles, or is it about his crew that he has at ringside trying to always help him?
That too. Isn't it time for that to be done?
It's probably a little more about his crew.
Yeah.
And I'm 50. I'll be 56 next month, or this month, excuse me. YouTube sensations mean nothing to me. And Logan Paul, look, he does a great job in the ring. I get it, but he's one of those guys, especially now that he didn't have a title. It's kind of like, I'm not really pining to see him in the ring.
Wow.
Nux or no.
So now we're just saying no more Logan Paul. Wow. All right. Phil, what do you think of that?
Well, it's fun. So, Logan Paul's been competing in the WWE for 3 years. And one part of the graphic as he's coming out is going, hometown Ohio, first time ever competing in Ohio. And I'm like, wait a minute. In 3 years you've been with the WWE, you haven't appeared once in Ohio? So, that just speaks to, how many times is he working or not working? I'm not going to lie. When he is in the ring, he does some phenomenal stuff. He hits things better than a lot of people do. And so he has put in the work. At the same time, I'm not a fan of the person. And that certainly flavors my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but then we shifted to LA Knight, who is now the United States champion. And this, I have a feeling, is going to be a very interesting reign for him, because the road seemed to lead to him at some point winning a world title. I think this is a good spot for him at this point to kind of rebuild himself a little, because I thought WWE pushed it too fast, and when he lost to Roman Reigns last year, I think it really stung him. And now here's his opportunity to make a bigger name, start beating some people, because it was up and down booking, if you remember right. I mean, he was losing matches all over the place. So now we get LA Knight as the United States champion. Stu, are you optimistic about this title reign?
I am. Now, look, I'm a fan of LA Knight. I've been a fan of his, since his TNA days as Eli Drake. I love, he's fantastic on the mic. He's good in the ring. I am looking forward to seeing what matchups he has as the U.S. champion. And I hope that WWE books him in a strong way to where, maybe he does start to sniff around the world title picture, and maybe even get a shot or two. We'll see. I am hopeful that we see a lot from LA Knight as the U.S. champion.
As are many people here in Vegas. This was one of the places he trained. Phil, are you excited about LA Knight as the U.S. champ?
I am, and like we've all been sort of alluding to, it was time. Like, they needed to pull a trigger on something with him. I was almost afraid they weren't, and because he wasn't the guy, he wasn't going to be their guy, and has come out swinging, and the fans are saying, WWE, we like him. Like, don't mess up with him, because we actually are behind him. Don't screw up. And so you're right, what you said before. He needed this. He needed this win, but I'm curious where they'll go next.
Yeah, who knows who they're going to line up with him, too. Boy, we got our secondary champions. Man, there are some serious possibilities here between Bron and LA Knight. It's going to be fun. Congratulations, WWE. You got two winners coming up there. Another winner last night is Nia Jax, who knocks off Bayley, and in a fairly decisive manner last night, I might say. Nia Jax is the new WWE Women's Champion, as she got a little distraction help from Tiffany Stratton yesterday. And Nia walks out as the Women's Champ, taking Bayley out of there. And, Bayley had some cool moments in there when she got Nia up on her shoulders. That was pretty impressive. Nia Jax, new Women's Champion. Phil, I know you are kind of in on her, but what do you think of this? This is going to be some fun.
So again, if I had to put on my criticism hat a little bit, like I said, there was some weird timing stuff I thought on the event. Every other match had some kind of outside interference that got involved for the finish. It was like half of the there was like 3 or 4 matches that leaned heavily on, oh no, they're doing some damage to the shoulder of the person. So there was a little bit of like repetition in the course of the evening too. And I was just like, well, again, and again, I'm just not a fan of Nia Jax in the ring. That's just a personal opinion. I thought Bayley did the best with her. And again, I haven't thought Bayley has had that great of a run with this championship. And I thought this was a decent showing of Bayley's.
I would agree with that. She looked very good last night. I mean, that's whenever you're working in a ring with somebody that there's such a size differential, especially with the women. I mean, that is hard to do, and she was fantastic last night, Stu.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now it's going to be interesting. So now you got Nia Jax, Queen of the Ring, Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, Miss Money in the Bank, and her little princess. Of course, now the clock is now ticking on when that blows up. Does Tiffany cash in on Nia, and how does that look? Because Nia's kind of characterizing Tiffany Stratton as her little doll, her little Barbie doll,
her princess.
She even said, "It's my little Barbie doll," and the princess. And so, now it's like looking forward to when that happens. The problem with that is, there are a lot of people that feel the way Phil does about Nia Jax. So you would think, in a regular feud or a regular storyline, you would think when that happens, Tiffany's going to be the heel, and then Nia Jax gets sympathy as a babyface. But with as mixed of a reaction, shall we say, as Nia Jax gets, how much sympathy is she really going to garner?
Yeah, I could see that would be a problem. But I will say this for Nia Jax, that she has been so much better in this second time around with WWE. That firing was a huge wake-up call for her. Had the reputation, of course, of hurting people in the ring, and nobody wanted to get in there with her, and they just finally gave up on her. But this time around, when she's come back, she has been much crisper. She has been working with the top talent and doing a great job. I remember when she wrestled Rhea Ripley down in Australia, I thought she did a terrific job down there. I really did. And, she is starting to come into her own a little bit more. And I don't know if it was just a lack of confidence on her part or what, but there was just something missing that it feels like she's got a little more of an aura now than she did back then. So just throwing it out there. I'll defend her a little bit.
And I will say, for the Queen of the Ring, that crown is awesome. Like, that crown is literally on point.
That wasn't the same crown that she got in Saudi, though, right? It was a different crown, because the one in Saudi was like all bedazzled and, whatever. This one is a little more, I don't know, hardcore, shall we say?
It's very, it looks very sharp.
Well, yeah, it could be used as a weapon.
Well, she came to Vegas and pawned it off and got a different one.
There you go.
It's sit down at Rick's store down there on Vegas Boulevard. I might go buy it. No, actually, you know what? I'll let Stu buy it. That's more in Stu's budget. That would look good back in your.
I'll be there in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Excuse me.
Oh, that's right. Cauliflower Alley Club.
Cauliflower Alley Club. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go shopping. We'll see if we can find Nia's crown. One more match that I want to get into. Well, actually, let's take a break before we get into this Drew McIntyre, CM Punk.
Experience?
We'll call it an experience. I think that's a good word. Let's come back more with Phil Stamper from Pro Wrestling Revolver and Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. We're going through SummerSlam and all sorts of incredible news going around the wrestling world, including a meeting between Tony Khan and Shane McMahon. Can you believe that? Stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
.101.5 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we return to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Our 3rd anniversary. How about that? They haven't thrown me off the air yet. It's amazing.
Happy birthday.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. So thank you for joining us. Of course, got two of my great friends in pro wrestling on the show with me today. Phil Stamper from Pro Wrestling Revolver. Of course, he's the president of wrestling and does an incredible documenting of independent wrestling around the country. Follow him at Trust and Phil. Check that out. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling down in Austin, Texas. Unbelievable podcast. You need to listen to that too. Just listen to me and then listen to Stu and then go find something to do on the independent circuit, wherever you want with Phil. It's a one-stop shop. We got it rolling.
There you go.
Yeah. And by the way, just real fast, I got to get this in. We just started working a company called the Travel Shark. And if you are looking for hotel room bookings, you know how everybody gets those super deals all the time when, the rooms that are left over on Priceline? Well, the TravelShark.com actually gives you those prices all the time. So for those of you out there that are going around, you want to catch wrestling wherever it is, great deals in Las Vegas for WrestleMania. Check it out. Go to the TravelShark.com/Hoke Show. You got to get that /Hoke Show in there so I get my bonus points. You know, like they give me cookies and brownies. But it's the travelshark.com/Hoke show, and check it out. You will be very, very glad you did if you're looking for any hotel travel. All right. I don't know. I think CM Punk might be looking for a new hotel room after that match last night. I was so excited about that. You guys know I was excited about this match. And wow, I'm just lost on this because generally it was a good match. But this friendship bracelet thing that came into play where, you know, Drew had it and Punk tried to get it and Seth put it on and Seth gets beat up and then the match hinged around a friendship bracelet. With these guys, the three talents you had in there, did you have to hinge a match that was that hot around a friendship bracelet, Stu?
No. That was the dumbest thing all night. And you're right. Look, I think everybody was excited to see CM Punk get back in the ring. This is the first one-on-one match he had actually since he wrestled it All In last year in London, outside of a couple of house show matches with Dominik Mysterio. So everybody was excited to see CM Punk back in the ring. It's Drew McIntyre. They've had this rivalry. It's been fantastic. And you had a feeling Drew was going to finally get his revenge. And you're right. The match was okay. It wasn't great. The match was missing something. And I don't know if it was a matter of CM Punk just being rusty or if it was, I don't know what. The whole friendship bracelet thing, that was absolutely unneeded. You didn't need something like that for this match. And I don't know why they went down this road. I don't know if they thought it needed more heat because look, it's again, what they've been doing back and forth since WrestleMania, that's enough to garner interest in this match. Why are you worried about a stupid friendship bracelet? And the whole thing, and Punk gets distracted by Seth wearing the bracelet when Seth was just trying to hold it for him. It just, I don't know, it felt overbooked. It felt like, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it.
Do it.
It felt a little like CM Punk may have seen his best days. May have already seen his best days.
Wow. All right. Phil, your thoughts on the CM Punk match?
I mean, maybe my bias because I am the best Phil in wrestling. So
that's awesome.
I didn't go that far down that path about the friendship bracelet. I was like, it's the MacGuffin, it's the thing. And from that one perspective of when you look at SummerSlam as a business product, there are people who really only watch not just the pay-per-views or premium live events, but really just the big four events. So there's, SummerSlam will go up in how many people viewed, and it has been the most viewed, or will be, I'm sure, once we see the numbers, the most viewed WWE event since WrestleMania. And so it's like, that's a quick and easy way to tell the story during the match for commentary. Like, look, here's this really quick story connection about the bracelet that Drew stole, and now Seth has it, and Punk misunderstands. I was like, all right, this is part of the story. I don't think it necessarily was needed, but at the same time, I felt there was so much. I mean, you definitely got the point of why Seth Rollins is there. He has storyline points with both of them, but now it feels like on Monday night, are we going to finally get a three-way match between the three of them to tease either end this so they can go on and do whatever all three are going to do next? Because it's all of this felt, if you look back at WrestleMania, here are three guys who are all in the title picture. Seth at the time was world heavyweight champion, and Drew was circling there, gets cost the title by Punk by the end of WrestleMania. So it's sort of like, or no, wait a minute, that was Money in the Bank. I'm pulling pay-per-views together in my brain. So it's sort of like this was just the stall point until they got to this point for then all three of them to go on to other storylines that would involve a championship. But now it's like, well, are you going to do that? You just switched the World Heavyweight Championship. Mm-hmm. So here's Cody again. Cody could be at a point where he's going to go in another direction, but now Well, we haven't gotten there yet, but there was another surprise at the end of the night that
Right.
maybe that'll tease the direction too. So it's sort of like, well, are you back in the same mess you were 3 months ago, where now you don't know where to go with these three, and are they just going to be locked in it together until next WrestleMania?
That was part of the reason that I wish they'd have waited to put Gunther in the World Championship picture. I think this would have been very entertaining to have the World Championship passing between these three guys. I'm usually not big on hot potatoing, but with this could have been really fun. And then if Drew would have held on to the case, man, you could have had some real fun with this. And now it's still okay, but man, CM Punk getting distracted by a bracelet just threw me off, because that is not something that you would think a guy, the way the character's been portrayed over the years, would get put in the tank by, he's always been focused on winning, and now he's worried about a friendship bracelet. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, and Stu, I understood what you said about Punk looking a little off. I will say he looked like he was in some of the best shape he's looked in a long time.
He looked in great shape.
Physically looked great. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It was just, and maybe he was holding back a little bit because he just, was worried about getting hurt. Like I remember when he jumped off the top rope to do a clothesline. It wasn't quite as explosive as it normally is. And maybe there was just a little bit of being tentative after everything that's happened with his body, that he just wanted to make sure he got through this thing without any other major fiascos going on. So,
and I hope that's the case. I hope he was just holding back, because I like watching Punk. I mean, I'm not like I'm not like pining for it, but he's fun watching the ring. So I'm hoping that's what it was, that he was holding back. It was like missing a step. It was just, I was not impressed with that match.
Yeah. So it was quite the entertaining fiasco. I don't know. I mean, it was still good, but Seth Rollins was awesome, by the way. I do want to throw that out too. Seth was great. I mean, playing the referee that just would stand around and let stuff happen, sitting up in the corner, and, Drew's getting his head bounced off the steps, and he's just kind of standing there and doing his laugh and everything else. What a job he did last night, I thought. I mean, that was just something that I noticed, that Seth stood out in that role very well.
Mm-hmm. He was very good in his role. You're right. And that, the fact that he's going to be fed into this, vortex with Punk and Drew, it will be, I guess it'll be intriguing to see where, how it all falls out. I got a feeling this is going to be the program for probably the rest of 2024, is the three of them, in whatever combination you want to put.
I'm fine with that. I want Seth to come out on top, but I think the roundabout way to getting Seth Rollins back to the World Championship against Gunther, I'm good. I want that match at WrestleMania. I think that would be fantastic. Well, and of course, WrestleMania will be here in Las Vegas, where we are right now doing the Mark Hoke Show. And we are going to be back with a whole lot more, wrapping up our coverage of SummerSlam from last night. And then we get to dive into AEW. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Shane McMahon meets with Tony Khan. MJF punches a wall. Britt Baker gets suspended. What is going on? Man, everybody's getting loopy in pro wrestling lately. But, hey, that's part of the fun of talking about it. We'll be right back on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. And if you want to interact with the show, we'll hit some of those comments in the chat box. Join us there on YouTube, X, or Facebook. And we'll be back more with Phil Stamper, Stu Myrick, and I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. We'll be right back for Hour 2 coming up.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.